You and the planet Uranus, how Uranus affects your birth chart. Uranus is the planet of change and originality, symbolizing the element of surprise in your life. Uranus brings about sudden events and opportunities. It awakens, shocks, and revolutionizes. It is responsible for human genius that creates something new, whether it be in art or in science. Do you often take an action that has no rhyme or reason? Are you attracted to an unusual line of work or to odd and colorful people? Do you feel that you are a more inventive thinker than those around you? Do you take an interest in modern science and the latest discoveries in the world? Are you known for your startling pronouncements? A person who has a strong Uranus in his or her birth chart will answer yes to these questions. It is important for you to know the sign that Uranus occupies in your horoscope in order to see where your own originality and special self-expression can best be utilized. Uranus was unknown to the ancients, for the planet was discovered only 200 years ago. Uranus is the first of the three modern planets and the first ever to be found through a telescope. On March 13, 1781, at Bath, England, the British court astronomer Sir William Herschel discovered what he thought was a comet. After a year of careful observation, he verified that this heavenly body was a new planet in our solar system. Herschel named the planet Georgium Sidus, Star of George, in honor of King George III of England. But the name never caught on. For a while it was Herschel, and finally it was changed to Uranus. Uranus was the Roman sky god, the first ruler of the universe. In astrology, Uranus is the planet of the future, associated with modern science, invention, electricity, humanitarian movements, and revolution. It is the planet of sudden upheaval and swift, unexpected happenings. All that is new, original, different, and unorthodox is related to Uranus. Uranus relates to your inner will and your secret powers. In certain respects, its power is similar to that of Mars. The difference is that Uranus is deep-seated energy within the personality, an unconscious purpose that is revealed over a lifetime. As the great astrologer Evangeline Adams explains, a person can be powerful even if he or she is physically crippled, and another person may have enormous energy that he or she scatters about with no purpose. The first person of this example has a strong Uranus and an afflicted Mars. The second person of the example has a powerful Mars and a weak Uranus. Uranus's position in your chart indicates whether you have an inventive or unconventional mind, and if you are attracted to odd and peculiar ideas. It designates what kind of genius you possess, whether you encounter unusual circumstances in work, travel, and relationships, and your propensity for sudden and traumatic events that mark your life. If Uranus is prominent in your horoscope, you are inclined to be independent and resourceful. You may dress in an unusual manner, create your own style, and invent new gadgets. People may be attracted to you because of your far out point of view. You may even be psychic. Uranus is the guiding force behind the visionary. Uranus also tends to make a person eccentric in behavior, undisciplined, reckless, and sometimes even perverse. He or she may be difficult to get along with because of an abrupt manner, rebellious, or unpredictable moods. In addition to having a personal meaning in your horoscope, Uranus is one of 3 planets in astrology that have a generational influence. The 3 modern planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are so far away from the Sun that they travel very slowly through the zodiacs. They spend a long time in each of the signs. Uranus takes 7 years to transit one sign. Neptune spends 14 years in one sign, and Pluto takes from 13 to 32 years to go through one sign. Astrologers believe that these planets influence a whole generation as well as the individual. Uranus was first discovered at the time of the Industrial Revolution, the beginning of the modern age. The planet's journey through the zodiac corresponds with the new discoveries of science. Scorpio is the sign of regeneration, and we have seen during Uranus's transit a most remarkable advancement in the field of genetics and even the creation of human life in the laboratory. Uranus is the ruler of the new age that has been dawning, the age of Aquarius. Uranus brings change into our lives, new situations, and new people. Its gifts are always sudden. You have to take immediate advantage of them before they flash by. The message of Uranus is to move with change and not to be afraid of the future. An astronomical look at Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun and is 1,784,800,000 miles distant from the Sun. Uranus is 4 times larger than the Earth, with a diameter of almost 32,000 miles compared to the Earth's 8,000 miles. Its orbit around the Sun is an almost perfect circle, and it takes 84 years and 7 days to complete one journey. It spins very quickly on its own axis. A day on Uranus lasts only 10 hours and 49 minutes. This means that there are 68,000 Uranian days in one Uranian year. Uranus tilts rather oddly on its axis, inclined at an angle of 98 degrees from the plane of its orbit. In other words, it practically lies on its side. The sun, therefore, shines first on one pole and then on the other pole, depending on where Uranus is in its orbit, while the opposite pole is in complete darkness. When the south pole has sunlight, the north pole is plunged into darkness and vice versa. Each of these periods of night and day on Uranus lasts for 21 Earth years. Uranus also rotates on its axis in a direction contrary to the other planets in our solar system. On Uranus, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. These unusual characteristics of Uranus correspond to the planet's astrological reputation for eccentricity. Uranus has been called the black sheep of the solar system. Uranus has dark rings around its planet and a corkscrew-shaped magnetic field that stretches for millions of miles. So that was Uranus. Next one comes up in a moment.